We just picked up this Honda Odyssey for $100. Let's get this beauty unloaded. This thing weighs about half a ton. I don't know if the Ford Ranger's hauling this or the Odyssey's hauling the Ford Ranger. Perfect. Let's get this thing in the garage where we can see it a bit better. Well, here she is in all of her glory. We got extra parts, which is a little bit concerning, the amount of wires going on there. We'll just get a quick walk around of this beauty. Overall, it doesn't look too bad. Few things taken apart, but I think we should be able to get this thing scooting. It's about twice as big as the mini truck. Put the spark plug back in. I do know that this thing does not have spark, but we did order a flywheel puller, so we can hopefully pull this flywheel off, clean the points, at least check the points, and then cross that out if that is not the problem. Benny's gonna chop my fingers off. It's threaded on there. Now if everything goes as planned, this flywheel should pop right off of there. Yes, we are free. Holy chunk. We've been shredded in there. Let's get a look at those points. Look at the amount of mud and crustiness on the inside of this flywheel here. That could be a reason we don't have spark. Well, remember when I said let's remove the flywheel so we can get to the points? Turns out this thing doesn't even have points. Looks like it has some sort of CDI or something. So I think what I'm going to do is clean up this, clean up those contacts, put it back together, and see what happens. It's cleaning up pretty good. It's like there's just a whole bunch of mud in here, honestly. Just gonna keep rubbing and chubbing. Using this magnet here to get some of this magnetic mud out of here. Look at that. Crusty. Benny, you need to zip it. Now time to clean these connections. That's all the footage you're getting because the camera is right smack dab in the middle of the way. Look at that, it is cleaning up nicely in there. Guaranteed to have spark. This is my helper instead of my brother. What do you think, Benny? Is it gonna get spark? Only cleaned up in there. We got the inside of the flywheel cleaned up. Let's slap it on and see what happens. Well, let's put it on just like we took it off. Keyway on there. That's in line. Now the real question is, where's that nut? First things first, we're gonna go on a side quest over to the barn, look to see if we have the nut that I need for this. Let's get to it. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We made it down to the barn, I'm hoping the crank nut on this three-wheeler here is the same as the Odyssey. So I'm going to pop this cover off and look at our nut. Got this off. Still can't tell. It's looking promising. Back to the garage. We made it back from the barn, and it's looking like the nut we scavenge is gonna work. You're not scavenging nuts. What are you even doing? Now we can put this little basket on. See if we have any of the nuts that are supposed to hold it on. Nice and rusty. Alright, next, pull cord assembly. Currently these little arms aren't flinging out quite like they should. This thing looks like it's been out in the rain a while, so we're going to grease these up and hopefully that solves the problem. Never have too much. Looks like it's doing what it should be. Let's get this dilly bob on there. I think that's the right angle. Benny. This is terrible. Check this out. Still terrible compression, but it's doing something. Let's check for spark. As a reminder, the whole kill switch, whole handlebar assembly is taken apart. Haven't messed with any of the wiring, but we're gonna plop the spark plug on the boot there and test for spark. All right, spark plug. Plug her in there, and we'll get ripping. Not seeing much of anything, which is expected. Yep, no spark. So now we dig into the wiring. Okay, the first thing I see is these two, which I think is the kill switch, are currently touching. So I'm going to pull those apart and try again. Alright, nothing still. Keep digging. Well, there's supposed to be a CDI connected to this, and it's non-existent. Maybe this. Alright. Come on, Bessie. Please be that easy. Nothing. I'm just going to start tracing these wires, see what I can find. Alright, we're going to start at the coil. Pop this back. There's not much bare metal showing, so I'm going to cut a little bit of this off. See if that does anything for us. I just cut a little bit off of both sides because we didn't have continuity even through this cable. I doubt that's the problem. But I'm going to put the plug back on and give it a shot. Still nothing. Well, I'm going to move on from the spark issue for a little bit so I can get this carburetor off and get it soaking overnight. See what's under here. Fresh. I don't even see where this thing, here it is connected. Definitely caught on something. There's one on the front. Just about there. We'll see how seized this throttle cable is. No way, it's not seized. That means we can't cut the cable. Now we're gonna have to unscrew this cap. Instead of taking the carburetor to the ultrasonic cleaner, I'm just bringing the ultrasonic cleaner right to the carburetor. I don't want to mess with unthreading the... I don't want to break anything. Works flawlessly. We got spark plugs, we got a couple random coils, and we're gonna chase that elusive spark. Wish me luck. First, let's try out one of these new plugs. I'd sure be a happy guy if it was this simple. We gotta get this cap off here. There. Throw it there. Like so. And nothing. We'll try grounding it better. Nothing. It's not gonna be that easy. Got our coil off. Basically. Looks crusty. Alright, we got the flywheel back off and we're cleaning these contacts better because I tried a new coil, no spark, new spark plugs, and we still aren't getting anything. A whole day later since I last gave an update, I've been chasing spark. I spent 3 hours yesterday trying to find spark, and I finally solved it. It was just a bad ground from the coil, or just a bad ground from the engine. Check this out. Get your peepers on that spark plug, because we've got juicy spark. This is the best day since sliced bread. Spark, spark, spark. You gotta put this pull cord housing all the way back on. Then we're gonna put the plug in, get the starting fluid, and go to town on her. Sweet, sweet nectar. All right. Come on, Bessie. It helps if you put the spark plug boot on. Well, are you kidding me? Alright, we're gonna try this again. Spark plug boot. We probably lost spark after all this. Alright, don't move. Starting fluid. A nice healthy dousing. I'm going to lose. Well, this is coming back off. Our victory was very short-lived. We didn't even get to hear it crank over once. And of course, I don't even have I don't even have a pull cord rope here. Well, boys, we lost a soldier today. Look at my 10mm. It's cracked. I was wondering why it wasn't gripping right. Rest in peace, little guy. This was sure a crushing blow. We were this close to getting it to fire off. And then this happened. Got the goods. Made it out of Home Depot without buying anything extra. Let's get this rope installed and get scooting. Our new rope. Weasel it through there. And we tie some sort of knot. Alright, we got our knot in there. And we thread her on this greasy I'm greasier than a jalopy, but we're spinning, we're retracting. Now all we need to do is put these little pawls in, put it back on, and then get back to what we were doing an hour ago. Alright, now back on with this. Get the starting fluid. I don't know how much got in there, but more starting fluid. Kind of a hard angle. There we go. Yes! It's doing something. Spray a little lube down there. And a little starting fluid. It's the perfect mix. Two strokes love starting fluid. Trust me. We just get one pop. Something is definitely not right with this. Exhaust was coming out of the intake, and it's a little too easy to pull over. Put that there, thread this in. Alright, what's our guess on the compression? Threadle in there. Like so. What the heck? That is not a good sign, boys and girls. Oh no. I think the compression has got worse since I started working on this. We got this tightened down better, but I did not have good hopes. Oh boy, that is not good. We're not even making it to 60. That means the head's coming off and we're digging into this thing. Well, we're digging in now. Let's get this head off of here. These don't feel very torqued down. Just kidding. We got one more hidden thing. Here's the moment of truth. So we'll get our first indication of what is going on down in the depths. We just gave it a little persuasion with the hammer there. Let's see how we're looking. Oily. Doesn't look terrible per se. The head gasket has seen better days, but let's keep digging. There's definitely some scoring in the cylinder and some water. Oh yeah, we just broke both those. This thing's way too powerful. There's a couple of springs down here. One free. Oh, everything wants to come with it. That's a good sign. You guys are going that route. We'll see if we can get this out of here in one piece. No, the exhaust is going to be in the way. It is free. Right. See if anything's in here. Oh! Yeah, that is a lot of water. Watery oil. Alright, let's keep digging in. Look at that, there is some coffee grounds in there, but that was very suspect looking. Oh, the cylinder should slide off now. Like so. It's salvageable. Now let's take a look at these rings. I think it looks like they're just a little seized. I think we should be able to salvage these rings for now. Alright, look down in there when I spin it over. There's a lot of watery oil in the bottom half of this engine. Well, it turns out the whole bottom half of this engine is full of a rusty, oily mix. That means we're going to have to take out this whole engine. We're not messing around. Let's get to it. One down. I think there's only 2 bolts that hold this on. Unplug these wires so we can lose all of our hard work that we did the last couple days. We're only held on by the belt now. See if we can weasel this thing out of here. Gotta get this vacuum line off. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not supposed to be in there. Let's get this cleaned up. Got a special mix here. Oh boy, we're peeing out our holes. We're gonna let that soak, repeat this process, and clean out the bottom end. Things were going a little too smoothly. Look what I just noticed. There's a nice groove worn in this piston. This piston is knackered. Two strokes don't like us. This was a terrible discovery, a terrible update to the Odyssey. I'm gonna go order a new piston. Hit it with a little brake clean. Spraying. It's about 20 degrees and windy. Optimal conditions. This thing is looking beautiful. Check this out. The brakes kind of work. That's more brakes than most of our projects. It's a little tight, but we can work with it. We're gonna get this thing cleaned up, starting with removing this ugly foam. We want to see that beautiful Honda red. Look at that. Woo! Pristine. You don't need these little seatbelt nubbins. We're not wearing a seatbelt. What's left of a seat is coming off. Mint condition Honda Odyssey seat. $100, I know what I got. Free at last. That cap was buggered on there so good. Now we can get this cleaned up and we'll be scooting. Let's get this beauty cleaned up. We'll see what we can salvage from this. Steel wool action. Oh, that is looking good. This thing is actually in very good condition, except for the fact the engine doesn't run. Check out the new seat. Oh, that's gonna work perfectly. As you can see, this is a different Odyssey. I did order a new piston, but instead of waiting for that, I'm gonna see if I can get the piston out of this engine, which is completely seized. This is a failed project. I spent $300 on this, and it sat here for 3 years. It was too much work, but it might be coming in handy finally. You guys are always saying how we get such good deals. This is an example of a bad deal. It was not worth 300 bucks. But we're gonna see what we can salvage off of it. Pop this engine off, unseize it, free the piston. I don't see anything that could go wrong. Up first, let's get this exhaust off. I don't know if that's coming at all. Actually, it's broken free. We don't even need to take it off. We're going from the undercarriage. This might be easier. Nope. Can't get to it under there. I don't know why they put a skid plate here. It's right in the way of the bolts I need to get to. Change of plans. We're taking the head off so we can see what we're working with before I go through the work of removing this whole engine. It's feeling crispy. Actually, I think we're gonna be able to salvage this. The head gasket at least looks better. But we got some lube. Soak that. We got this bad boy. We're gonna start tapping on the piston. It'll be a miracle if we can get this out in one piece. Let me get that head gasket off there first. One brand used head gasket. Definitely using this. Now back to smashing. It's probably easier to do off the engine, but we're just going with it. It might have moved, but I highly doubt it. We got the Uncaesar 3000. Oh yeah, she's buggered in there good. Oh my goodness. Look how crusty the carburetor is. A little worrisome on what the rest of the engine looks like. Making progress now. Doing irreversible damage though. This was definitely not worth it. I should have just waited for the new piston, but I'm stubborn. We have it out. Now we still have to unseize this piston. Let's get it back to the garage and get working. We made it back to the actual project at hand with the donor engine. And we're gonna get back to whacking on this thing, see if we can unseize this piston, take the piston out of here and put it in that engine, and get scooting quicker than the new piston arrives. Let's see if we can't do some irreversible damage to this thing. It's like roasting a Christmas pig. We got our other tool of the trade here. Inch by inch. We are making some good progress now. Look at this gap as a good sight to see. This was not me. Not a chance. Look at that. She is freeing up nicely. Oh. Come on, Bessie. Whoops. Wasn't me. I don't know who keeps breaking those things. I don't know if we're moving at all, but Come on, Bessie. And just like this, we broke more of that, but it was a necessary casualty. Easy peasy piston removal. Can't tell if these rings are broken though. Oh my goodness. Look at the bottom end of this thing. It is completely full of mud, sand, water. This thing is still seized, even without the head on it. Well, we're gonna get the piston off of here and get scoot. See if we can get these little clips out of here. Now we just knock our wrist pin out of there. Just oozing out the other side over here. Look at that. Perfect. We're just gonna slap this on there. And it's like a brand new piston. We don't even need to wait for the new one to arrive. And we just gotta clean this bad boy up before we put it in. Unfortunately, this cylinder is still scored. I did bring another cylinder over though, a third cylinder. So we might use that one, hone it out a bit, and make one good engine out of all these parts. I might just cancel the piston I ordered and use this one, save myself $100. You guys be the judge. There's some suspect looking dents on the head of this. May or may not be for me. So I can either go ahead and use this one, cancel the new piston I ordered, or be safe and not use this one. Let me know in the comments what I should do. It might be too late by the time you comment. This might already be on the engine. I don't know. We're gonna make the smart choice and use this knackered piston. See if we can drop one of these little holder boys down in the engine. Free at last. Let's see how these two compare. This one almost looks taller. They are a little different, but we're just gonna send it. Alright, let me know if you think this is a terrible idea. I think this is the best cylinder out of the three, but I haven't even opened it up yet. Pry up on this a bit. Benny, you're done. Alright, let's see what we're working with. First impression, it doesn't look too bad. There goes our nut. Getting the major chunks out of here. Sand, spider webs, all the normal. Alright, we got the perfect angle here. Alright, let's see how we're looking. I'm gonna hit it with a few more passes, but it's not looking terrible in there. So I call it a success. Look at that. Couldn't have done it better myself. We're gonna call that good enough. Now we need to try to salvage this gasket from a different cylinder so we can put it on. We did it. Maybe we'll put it on this side first. It's almost different than this. What the heck? We're all set. I'm gonna lube this piston up. Rubber down. I don't know why there's dents in the top of this piston, but it's probably like that from the factory. little more of that for good measure. See if we can line this up. Alright, we're putting this gasket on first. Gasket. Hopefully this cylinder isn't overboard. Ooh. Jackpot. Here's what we're working with. Looks brand new. A little chunk. Clean this head gasket surface off. Go ahead and make your guess now on how much compression this is going to have, because we're getting real close to testing this thing. Twerk it down to whatever you want to until it feels right. Alright, let's get ripping. Look at this guy. Compression checker. It'll be interesting to see how well I can pull this over. Not mounted to anything. Here goes nothing. Definitely harder to pull, which is good. Definitely hard to come on. 70. Almost to 90. Come on. If I can get a better grip on this thing. Compression's definitely higher. Woo! Okay, let's try this again. We got up to just about 90. Make sure our tiddlywinks are all the way tightened down. I think I already broke our pull cord. Looks like 90 is the best we're gonna get for now. Gotta switch over these intake manifolds and gaskets. Over to this engine. Once again, I did not buy gaskets. Looks like we're making a new gasket because I just tore that one to bits. One new gasket coming up. Ben? I'm gonna go ahead and order a new gasket just to be safe. This is not my best work, but for now, we're going as is. Whoops. Ta-da! Put that in there. Like so. Let's get this beauty reinstalled. I'm gonna at least loosely mount it so I can check the compression better with it on a solid surface. We got the exhaust side of it mounted. Alright, that one's on. Let's check this compression again. I don't know what I did to this pull cord though. $90. Ooh, 110. This is what we like to see. Oh yeah. Yes. 118. We're climbing. Yes. 118. That's going to do just fine. Let's get that carburetor cleaned. We're going to hook the wiring back up. And with any luck, we'll still have spark. Whoa! Let's test for spark again. It's been... Oh, we got... What is in there? I don't know. Not seeing anything. Let's make sure these aren't touching. Oh boy. Okay, don't worry. We got spark again. Now we can spray a little fuel down in the intake and see what happens. We got a 50-50 mix of oil and gas here. Gonna spray a little down in the carb. We'll see if any of that actually got in there. Let's get ripping. We put a little towel over the intake. I don't think any of that fuel actually got in there. Alright, it's definitely in there now. Yes, that is what we like to see. Oh, that is nice. We're gonna clean this carburetor up, put it on, attach some fuel, and get scooting. I still haven't opened this carburetor up. It's been soaking in the ultrasonic cleaner for maybe days. We are leaking fluids, but if you're not leaking fluids on the table, we are leaking our mystery mix that we put in the ultrasonic cleaner. That's a crusty girl right there, but not terrible. Let's get this cleaned up better and slip her back on. Really the goal when you're cleaning the carburetor is to not lose anything. There's more little jets and giblets than you know what to do with. We're going back together. We got the innards cleaned. We're gonna be scooting. Work this thing on there. Oh yeah. We are gonna be scooting. And tighten this clamp down. We don't want any vacuum leaks here. It'd be helpful if you could at least spin the screwdriver and not just smack at my hand. We got our slide here, nice and lubed up. Oh, slip her down in there. Choke cable's a little copy-wamped. Boom. The exhaust is going back on, and I can tell you these springs are going to be a real pain in the knackers to get on. We got the bottom nub of the exhaust on there. Now we get the big chunkiest slipper on the bottom nub, and that's how you install an exhaust. A lot of nubs and a lot of chubs. We got our special mix of fuel. We're gonna spray some of this in the carburetor and get ripping. We'll see if that works. Our choke lever is broken. I'm gonna see if I can't take a zip tie and make something work. She's fixed for now. She was fixed for now. I'm gonna work some fuel down into there. Oh, that did not work. Trying to fill up the bowl down there. This could be a little scary. The moment we've all been waiting for. The belt's off, so it's not gonna go launching through my garage door, but let's get ripping. Sounds terrible. Put her on choke. Our cable already broke. Leave that there. Our throttle cable needs to be re-hooked up. Gotta wiggle the throttle cable out of here. Attempt number 2, we're just gonna spray a little bit of starting fluid down in there. Okay, let's check for spark again. I think we're just not pulling over hard enough. Too much compression now. Alright, while we got the spark plug off, spray a little bit of our fuel down in there. Put our spark plug back in if I can find it. Alright, we got starting fluid down in the carb. really took off. Holy smokes. She's alive. Well, blew my eardrums out. The slide isn't all the way down. So I think that's part of the reason it just revved up to the moon. But we're scooting. Well, it turns out I bought the wrong type of pull cord rope. So this is coming back off. The good news is I got the rope directed through where it should go now. The bad news is it's the same rope that just broke. So it's not going to last very long probably. Starting fluid. We fixed the slide so it's not quarter of a turn open. Fix the pull cord. Might need to give it a little tug here. Choke it. Choke. More fuel. Some of that should have made it down in the bowl. Take it off choke. A little more starting fluid shouldn't hurt. Let's get ripping. Now what do I do? Oh my goodness. What the heck? It's fine. I just forgot to tighten this nut there. Our little poles fell straight out. I knew I forgot something. Let's try this again. Come on, Bessie. Whoa. She's trying. Woo. And take it off choke there. Woo. Give it a little throttle up here. Try it again. We are way too open, but that was full throttle. Oh my goodness. I need to fix this cable because how it's set up right now, the slide is halfway open. Oh yeah, we're leaking. We're leaking good. Hold on to your marbles. Oh my god, what just happened? There was no spark plug connected. The spark plug wire was completely off and we were still getting spark somehow. Oh my goodness. What in the world? About blew my eardrums out. Holy smokes. Whew. What in the world? I'm so confused. If you look down in there, the slide is stuck halfway open, which can cause a runaway two-stroke. So that's the first thing we're gonna fix. Before all you get your panties in the bunch, the slide is in the right orientation. I think the problem is up here. It's just getting pulled too much. I went ahead and unhooked the throttle cable up from up top there, and now the slide is sitting way lower. Now we can move on to the next thing. Let's pop this spark plug off and see what we're working with. Holy smokes. that was buggered on there. I did not tighten it down that good. Looks like it got hot in there. We'll switch this out for a new one. Now we'll see if we still have spark after all this. Well, let's see how much compression we have. I'm not liking how this sounds. See what terrible damage we did. Just a little below 120. So we didn't mess that up too much. We do not have spark anymore, but I think it's just a spark plug boot. There's a little fuse down in here, and that thing got launched into space probably. I got a donor boot here from one of my Honda Trails. We're gonna give that a shot. Like so. Not really the right size, but we got spark, boys. Our loosely mounted engine bolts managed to rattle loose and all that commotion, so I'm going to get those mounted better, and then we'll get back to it. Unfortunately, we're going back at her. Say a prayer, because that was very eventful last time. I prefer that not to happen again. Okay, we got it choked with a pair of vice grips. We got rags to cover up the exhaust and carburetor if it all goes south. Oh, that's a lot better. Well, that went a lot better than last time. So smoked out the whole town. We're gonna take this cap off the exhaust. You guys seem to think it's clogged in there. See what we're working with. Crusty. There's some sludge in there. Look at that hole. If you're not leaking sludge from your holes, what are you even doing? I don't know what you call this, but I'm gonna set that to the side. Yikes. We messed with the throttle a bit. We got the spark arrestor, dilly bob out of there. Let's get ripping and try to get this thing running better. Nope. We're back. I had to go cut off all my hair in preparation for the big scoot, but we're getting very close. I'm going to take this thing outside, try to get to idle a bit longer and run for more than 20 seconds. So let's get to it. I got this temporary fuel tank mounted up. I don't want to worry about the fuel pump and the crustiness inside this tank, so we're just going to run this until we get it running right, and then we can deal with this tank. Check this out. This is perfect. I knew that would come in handy. Let's get her tightened down. Whoops. Take it off choke. Making progress. We're leaking fuel, but sounds better. Choke is back on. Well, it didn't run away, so that's good. Let's try again. The clutch down there keeps getting stuck open. Oh, that is on there. Woo, that was almost my fingers. It started pouring out there. The only thing that's holding us up right now is this clutch plate keeps getting stuck open, and I prefer not to launch into the woods. So we need to keep working on this, get it freed up so it opens and closes, and then we're ready for a test drive. Before we hook up this new belt, I'm going to wriggle up some sort of kill switch in the event this thing goes scooting 100 miles the opposite direction of me. I want to be able to turn this thing off easily. And this is why I tested first, because this is a piece of junk and isn't working. I also grabbed another one. Let's try this one. No spark. Let's flip the switch. And we got spark. So this switch is working. Let's get it installed. Okay, never mind with this kill switch. I'm gonna wait till I get the new throttle cable in to hook up the kill switch. Because for the first test drive, I'm just gonna give the throttle cable a little tug with my hand. Well, that should work. We'll see if I can jimmy this belt on here. Easier said than done. Piece of junk on. I think we're on. We're on. We got the belt on. I'm going to get this thing outside, lift the back end, and test this thing for the first time. And try to avoid having it launch that way. We got her securely strapped on here. Back wheels are off the ground. With an extra bit of security, that's not going anywhere. We've had a few too many projects run away, so I'm being extra safe this time. Let's get this beauty started up. The belt is on, so the wheels will be spinning. Turn the fuel on. We got her choked now. Let's get scooting. Ready to scoot. Well, we passed the test. The clutch opened and closed now that the belt's in there. We didn't even need to be safe. Camera girl says we need to test it a little bit more before we take it off. We're just gonna go for a baby scoot tonight. Okay, maybe I should leave it strapped up still. Okay, scoot test number 2. We got the wheels on the ground. Let's get ripping. Oh, that went way better than expecting. Yes! This thing is awesome. I can only scoot a little here, but tomorrow we're gonna take it for a real rip. Ah, it's a good feeling. She's fixed for now. Perfect conditions for a test drive. Let's get this beauty unloaded. Still don't really have a seat, but we're just gonna whip something up real quick. Just gonna put a couple moving blankets in here. We got a brand new seat. Perfect. And it's waterproof. Let's give that a try. Oh yeah. Don't let me down now. You need to choke it, which is easier said than done. We got our manual choke here. This lever is broken off, so you just gotta pinch it like that, and we're choked. It's like it's starving itself for fuel. But we got a couple good rips there. Feels like it's on choke. Oh, we might actually be out of gas. I need the flashlight. Yeah, we're out of gas. Whoops. Let's go check the barn and see what type of fuel we have in there. We got the juice. Unfortunately, it was back at my house. There's nothing in the barn. scooting now. Almost flipped it down there, but otherwise went pretty successful. This is definitely my new favorite go-kart. This thing rips pretty good. Definitely a seat would be helpful. Not the most comfy, but it's fixed for now. Our gas tank held, our clip lead held, the vice grips holding the exhaust on held. She's fixed for now. That was a great success. We just sprung a gas leak. Take a look at this. Fuel is spraying everywhere. We're lucky that thing didn't catch on fire. Well, that's it for this video. Oh, weird. It's coming out of this tank. The vacuum pump was working and it was shooting out of here. Whew. That could have been bad. Oh well. Look at this. Our seat worked perfectly. These didn't even get dirty. If you made it this far, go check out our merch. We're gonna keep fixing this thing up a bit, but that's it for this video. Love you guys, bye.